Hey everybody, welcome back to our speed shop. So took the Firebird into town yesterday in my little town, Carter. You know, the population 250 people, and the throttle was sticking on the Sniper again. And I've sprayed it with like PB Blaster, and it helps. But what's really happening is the secondaries are sticking, and I'll get more into that once we get into this video a little bit further. So I'm going to show you how to fix that, and we're also going to do some modifications of the intake to take away this little noise the Sniper makes. And again, I'll get more into that once we get into the video. So let's get into it. All right, so the part that likes to stick on this is this little secondary lever right back here. It'll get caught up right in that area right there. So basically it acts almost like a cruise control when you're going down the highway. It'll stick open and won't idle down. So what we're going to do is put a second winding or another winding on the spring right there. So that's going to be one of the things we do. The other thing is going to be a modification of the intake. And I'm going to see if I can make it do it, but it makes this whistling noise basically when we're driving it or when the RPMs are up on it. So I'm going to try to see if I can demonstrate it here in the shop. If not, we'll do a drive-by where I know it'll come out. So let's get this to start her up and give her a few revs, see if I can make it come across in the video. So we need to try to do this kind of from a distance to pick the sound up, because the phone picks up weird sounds that if it's a louder sound, it'll cut it out. And so I'm just going to try to do it from this distance. I know I can make it happen when I do a drive-by, so we might do that way, but we'll see if we can do it just by idling. Whether or not you can hear that or not, it's kind of like a whispering noise coming out, like air blowing out of a, I don't know, like an air compressor. There's a very distinguishable whisper or whistling noise. And we're going to see if we can fix that by doing the modification of the intake, and I'll explain that. Let's say a dual plane intake, and we're going to kind of mill down the center section of it to give it a little gap there. And I'll explain that more once I get the intake or the Sniper off. I think it came across on the video. If it didn't, then we'll do a drive-by. I think it came across pretty good on both the in the shop and the drive-by, the whistle I'm talking about. So let's get the Sniper off of there so we can fix that spring, rewind or do a winding on the spring, and fix that, hopefully fix that whistle. So this is the adapter plate I have for the spread bore to square bore conversion. So it's just a flat metal plate that converts it from a square bore intake to a square bore. Did I say square bores? You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that takes it from a spread bore, which is that style right there, from like a quadrajet, to a square bore. So it fits almost every other carburetor. All right, so we got the Sniper off, and what we're gonna do is take this spring right here. We wanna wrap it around a whole nother revolution. And I'm created this tool here. It's from an old dental pick. It's going to allow me to put that in there to prevent it from flipping around when I'm going to change it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this all on video, but I'm going to bring it around and stick it up through here, this piece, to hold it there. And then we'll work it the rest of the way around once we get this lever off. And we'll do that on video here in a second. All right, so I hope you all be able to see what I'm doing here. So like I said, I'm going to bring this around up underneath and then lock it in. Let me get something better hold it. There we go. All right, so now that can't go nowhere. You see how I got the tool in the spring now? So now I'm going to remove this screw that allows me to bring this lever out to wrap it back around to latch it back into that spot. Hope that makes sense. I've already loosened this, so there's actually a little ledge there that holds it in place. So just gotta be kind of careful because you don't want to lose that spring. Yeah, I should probably take this little lever off first to make it a little bit easier. There we go. Just a little cotter pin. It holds this progressive link in. This isn't a progressive, this is a standard link, but really that bar's in the way. Oh boy. So this is the extender bracket you can buy to help with throttle response with the old snipers, with the Sniper 1s. Okay, let's get that out of the way now. Spring's still good. So now we need to pull this out a little bit. I don't know why people say this is easy. It sure isn't. Don't worry, we're going to figure this out somehow. Oh, there it goes. I don't think this is a very good way of doing things, especially now that spring is bent. Now this is like impossible. I was like, oh, just do an extra winding on it. It's easy. No, it's not. Okay, so obviously this way is not working very well. Let's see if I can somehow pull it through by tweaking it a little bit. Probably not getting any of this on video either, am I? Well, I got it back on there, but I don't know if it's impossible to get a second winding on that. Oh, wow. Now, is that too much? Guess we'll have to see once it's on the car. All right, I don't really recommend this because it's a bit too much. So that might pop off there eventually. And even worse. Put a little hook on it to hopefully hold it a little better. Let's hook everything back up and see how it feels. There we go. So that's back on. So I got extra winding on that. Let's get this extension back on and see how it feels. Doesn't feel too bad. So that takes care of it. Holy crap, it's hot. And it's 100 degrees. We got the sniper ready to go back on. We got the secondary winding done. So that should be good to go. And right now it's stuck on the thing, but the throttle works really good, just the way it is. So I think we'll be good for that. So next thing we gotta do is we're gonna modify the intake. And before I get started, just let me put it out there. If you don't like the way I do this, then don't do it. Because I am not taking it off the car to do it. I'm just going to stuff the intake with rags, use the vacuum and a die grinder to do the work. So if you don't like it, don't do it. But, you know, that's the way I'm going to do it, and it's going to work out just fine. All right, so as you can see, these are brand new rags, never been used. So I'm going to stuff these all the way down inside the intake in each one of the ports, so there's no chance that anything's going to get through there. All right, so we got those rags in there now, so now it's a matter of going in there and grinding it. I'm going to get a vacuum, stick it on there too, so as I'm doing it, it'll be sucked out, just for extra protection. I'm just going to go over the kind of die cutter I'm going to be using for this. So this is your standard like carbide bit. You see how the teeth are nice and close together. And that's for your standard metal, whatever. Now for aluminum, you want to use a flute like this. It's got a nice open area, and that allows for the aluminum to cut through. But that's the difference between an aluminum and steel cutters. All right, let's get to grinding. Well, I was going to record doing it, but I kind of forgot to turn the camera on. So I already cleaned everything out, but you can see the little lip there now. Put a little knife edge on it just to kind of give it some flow, but we'll see if that works. So we got it all cleaned up and ready to go back on. I had a little mishap with the die grinder. Caught one of the rags and then wrapped around this wire, so I got to check that to make sure it's not damaged and reroute it and clean it up again. I need to do that anyways. So let's get the sniper back on there. All right, so here's test number one. Sniper's back on. So we're gonna fire it up, see if it's still making that squeaking noise, or the whistling noise. Around from me grinding earlier. cleaner's hitting the throttle cable or the throttle linkage. So I gotta play around with that a little bit now. But anyways, I still heard the squeaking. I don't think that modifying the intake did the whistling any good. But whatever, it's been there since I put it on there, so whatever. Just figured I'd try it. We'll see if it does any performance enhancements, but I doubt it will. All right, so everything's back together. I had to do some serious loving on the lower air box, the air cleaner bottom, the new one, because it didn't quite clear my linkage. So I made it clear, and it's a little wonky now, but it's okay. It's going to protect the sniper from junk, so that's all that matters. So I'm going to put a zip tie around some of that wiring right there so it doesn't fly around. Then we're going to go for a test drive. All right, so the throttle would stick almost immediately on taking off, like going up the hill from my house, so we'll see if it sticks there. And I also want to see, pedal feels pretty good, so I don't think it did any, made any difference that way. So let's take her for a drive. All right, so we're just gonna go up the hill here, see if it sticks or not. So if I let in the clutch, it idles down to normal. So far so good. Take her around the block. All right, just got back from the cruise or the drive, and everything's working right and never stuck on me. And I don't hear the whistle when I'm driving it now. So maybe we did something. It's a little bit when I do that, but it didn't do it at all when I drove it. So it fixed it somewhat. All right, so I'm pretty happy with it. It actually seems like it's running smoother. I don't know if it's because of the intake or because the sniper isn't hanging up anymore, but that was a really smooth drive and probably one of the smoother ones I've had in a long time. So pretty happy about it. Everything seems to be working great. And so yeah, I'd say that doing that extra winding helped, and doing the intake modification helped. That's gonna do it for the sniper modification and the intake modification for my '69 Firebird. So she's running really good. Like, I took her around the block and it just was smooth. Not that it hasn't always been smooth, but it's a little bit smoother than it was before. I don't know if it's a placebo effect or if it's just because we actually did something. So on this, we did the secondary winding and we milled out that center section on the dual plane intake. So if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like down there. Leave me a comment. Let me know what I can do better. And subscribe while you're at it. Heck, it's free. Turn on your notifications too so you know when I put videos out. So until next time, I'll see y'all later.